I'm a firm believer, bro, that you don't have to impose your will on anyone to get them. If you have to impose your will, right, and pump and beat your chest to get those who love you to align with what your instructions are, bro, you have a problem. What up, man? We are here. Hey, once again, I'm blaming it on Cole. Right? Cole is having his technical issues again.
Listen, look, I'm switched off the home internet, man. I'm on the phone 5G, so I know we good. I won't have, let me see, I can, no, you see that?
You
I can
sure?
do all that.
You sure?
I'm good.
Okay,
No, that's it.
All right, well, we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. But yo, listen,
my son
man.
said I look like Mr. Rogers, bro. He was like, man, you about to give some positivity with that sweater on.
Yo, leave it up to the kids, bro. Leave it up to the kids. Leave it up to the kids.
What's up, Shon, man? How you been, man?
Yo, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing incredible, bro. I'm doing incredible, man. I'm excited. We doing our enrollment right now with the with our program, man. Yo, I got 43 dads enrolled, bro. 43.
43?
43. And listen, the crazy thing about it, man, I'm sitting real nice because I'm like, listen, I can only enroll 15 of y'all, first come, first serve. Bro, I haven't been in that position before. You know what I mean? It's normally like, it's normally like, yo, I need you to fill it out to fill my class up. Now I got 43, bro.
Man, that's beautiful, man. So that speaks about how important fatherhood is to dads, man, that they're willing and open to the idea of getting support around parenting and all the things that come with that. So again, here we go, dispelling those myths that say fathers don't want to be engaged and don't want to be involved when it comes to parenting, and they're choosing manhood over fatherhood and all those things that come with it. That is true. So I love that, man.
Yep, you are right, man. You're right, bro. And honestly, man, out of the 43, bro, only 3 of them do not qualify. 2 is like from Virginia, and what up, Marcy? What up, Marcy? Marcy is in the building.
What's up, Marcy?
In the building. Yeah, she in the building, man. That's my girl, Marcy from Jersey, man. Listen, y'all gonna see me reach every once in a while, man. I got this new camera, and I don't know how to keep it from going black, and I don't want to go black. So every once in a while I gotta hit this little button. So but so just next week we won't have that issue. So no, man, it's been dope, man. I'm super excited, bro. So Cole, you didn't see the topic totally that I put up there tonight, man, but I wanted to continue next week. But my thing was, bro, is like the question or that I put up is like, yo, is it okay for men to like demand respect by inserting a little fear? You know what I mean? Like, yo, every once in a while, you know what I mean? Is it okay for a man to like pump his chest, like to walk around the crib, like to demand respect from his girl and his children? Like, is it okay for that to take place, man? Because it's, men want respect and, all that. So is it okay for him to demand respect in that manner? So I'm asking you, is it okay for him to pump a little fear in those in the house to demand respect?
So, so you asked me a question that I know so well because I used to be that demand the respect, and if I gotta go left with you real quick to get you right, then that's what I'm gonna do. If I gotta, deepen the voice and drop all that down on you, or if I gotta, shift a little bit here and there and get you to move, then that's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm the man of the house and you're gonna do what I told you to do because I told you to do it.
Yep.
That's it. Right? Well, I learned a good lesson that my sons told me that one, they weren't really as scared of me as they pretended. So that was one because they knew me and they knew that I wasn't really about that life.
Yep. So you're selling wolf tickets.
I was selling wolf tickets, and so I discovered that one of the things that they told me, man, is that I didn't need to do all that to get their respect. Because one of the things they told me is that they didn't want my position. They saw how hard my position was, and they didn't want to play it either. And so I was like, well, dang, y'all saw how hard my position was, so why did y'all make it so difficult? And one of my strong will kids said, well, Dad, that's the fun of it. So I said, oh.
Yes.
So that's the fun of it, man. So
Ooh.
I realized, I mean, do you have to use fear to get that respect? I don't necessarily know if you have to do that. I know I did it, and I did it for a number of years. I did was able to pull my weight around the house through that. But over time, I realized I didn't need to do all that, so that I can still get the respect without necessarily having to pump my chest and move through the house and aggressively to get people to listen to me. So I had to learn to move a little differently, but for some people it worked. For others, it worked for me. But over time, as my children became adults, they told me that, Dad, you didn't have to do all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't
So
know.
so Jamal says he is like my kids, yes, my wife, sure. Pure respect. You know what I mean? And this is my thing, bro. I don't think that we need to pump fear, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because so if I go back to, a lot of the things that I try to stand on is what's up, E? E say, yep. So this is my stance, guys, and you guys can help me, right? I mean, this is my position. If I follow Christ, that's me personally.
Mm.
When I look at his position, the thing was he doesn't want me to fear him. He want me to respect him, right? And the Bible talks a lot about, the beginning of wisdom and all that is fear and all that, but it's not fear in the place. It's like reverence, right? Of that respect. And my thing is, my thing is, I don't need to impose my will on you through fear, because what happens, man, is that when you get older, you draw away from me. When I raise my hand, I don't want you to have to jump back, because see, here I go. I told you,
Went black.
every
There
once
we
in a while I
go.
went
There you
black.
go.
Um,
Besides,
so I don't want my children to be afraid from the standpoint that they are afraid of their life, or I may take their breath away. I need them to respect me, right? I need them, the thing about it is that, especially my middle daughter, bruh, like her thing is, dealing with her, it's all about, she doesn't want to disappoint me. Even my youngest, my son, he don't want to disappoint me. So it's not even about, like, she got it, like today she got in trouble in school where she fell asleep. And so I could have handled it one or two ways. I got a note like, yo, she fell asleep. She did it a couple days. So I could have approached that a couple ways, right? I could approach it from the standpoint, I send her this text like, yo, when you get home, you gonna
yes,
get
we're
it.
gonna
Like, yo, it's
right.
on and popping. My thing to her was like, yo, got this message from your teacher, you tired, right? So I'm like, what's cracking? She was like, yo, I was a little tired, was up late, da da da. I was like, I get it. I said, listen, we all get tired. I just need you to finish strong. And we'll discuss it when we get home. And I said, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. So I
Sean,
wanted
can I
her
ask you?
so I wanted
Go
her
ahead.
to know, like, yo, I'm gonna address this, but I needed her. I didn't want her to to be questioning for the rest of the day. Like, man, is my dad, when I get home, is he gonna black out on me? I made sure through that text to let her know that I'm supporting you. Like, yo, finish strong. And when I got home, we had a conversation. I'm like, okay, what are you doing that's making you sleepy in school? How can we make the adjustments? And I'm like, yo, we can. It's on you. I'm gonna put it in your ballpark on how we move forward, how we address this behavior. right? So my parenting style has changed so much in how I parent. But and my last point is even how I do how I maneuver with my wife. Our relationship is so dope now because, bro, it's like we both rushing, are getting better with rushing to the place of being of saying that we were wrong or trying to correct it. Whereas before, bro, I could walk around the house for days and weeks without trying to address it. And I want you to know that I'm pissed and I'm angry, and you're gonna feel all of this negative energy. I don't care if I was right or
Right.
wrong. Right. So
Right.
my thing is, why I pose that question, I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to make them be afraid. I think it's all about making sure that they respect me, but I need to first show that I can respect them.
So I mean, that's really it right there, right? Because the messages that we get about parenting is really that children have a place. And so, and people like to call that old school parenting, right? Where children have a place, they are to be seen and not heard. And so, just even in that message right there, if you receive that growing up as a child and you start to understand that message, you will unintentionally internalize that and unfortunately deliver that same type of message onto your children, that children are to be seen and not heard. And there is no respect in that language at all or in that relationship. It took a long time for me to even truly understand that you are to have a relationship with your children. Your children are about relationships. It's about if you are in a relationship with your significant other, it's that same kind of formation that you have to listen to your children. You have to respect your children. You know how many adults don't think they have to respect their children? Respect my child? What you talking about? They ought to
Yep.
respect me,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
so I think that one of the things that happened to me is that part of my movement as a father in the house before I truly understood that was also recognizing that that was the only place in my home where I felt like I even had any power. So if you think about, and I wasn't secure in my role as a father. So one, I wasn't secure about my role as a dad. Second, I didn't feel like I had any power outside the world other than in my home. So then when I got disrespected, at least that's what I thought I was experiencing, right? I'm lashing out because that's the only place that is safe enough for me to lash out. Because outside of that, I can't lash out at work.
Yep.
Well, I can, but I'm gonna lose my job. I can't lash out at the store. I can, but the police are gonna get called. Then I might get caught up in a situation where I may not even make it home.
Yep.
And so I think what I learned is that a part of this was just sort of recognizing how to be secure in my role as a father and my role as a man that would
Bro.
remove the
Bro.
barriers that are associated with fear and those fear tactics and understanding that I needed to have a genuine, loving, caring relationship with my children, that it was okay to be nurturing, loving, and caring, which is something that we, of course, boys are not socialized to do. But I think once I moved into that space, which again took me to get a little seasoned, that I was able to be better equipped at, parenting. But man, it was my insecurity as a dad that had me moving around and navigating spaces in my home that wasn't appropriate because I wasn't secure in my role as a dad.
Yeah, yeah, but bro, I look at me. I wonder, Jamal. We gonna have to have Jamal here. I wish he can explain this. I would really like to know what he mean by this because I know this brother, man. He's super dope, man. But he said that's why you should add a little fear to your routine. It shouldn't get to the point where your kids are jumping. Let's see, where they're jumping when you raise your hand. And then he also said, also you should have to keep doing it. Your kids should respect you based on the love and the time you give them. Absolutely. Right.
Agree.
That's huge, right? I mean, but this is
Yeah,
the thing is how I interact with my wife in front of my kids is vitally important.
absolutely.
Right.
And if you're not
Because
married, go ahead, Sean.
no, I was just gonna say because if I'm talking reckless to my wife, right, man, I'm so next week I have this right. But listen, if I'm talking reckless to my wife, what do you think my son is gonna do to other little girls? Right?
Yeah, yeah,
What is he gonna do? What is my daughter's going to think? So my thing is I came down with an iron fist a lot of times with my children and gave my wife that strong negative energy, never blacked out, never talked disrespectful, never calling names and all that type of stuff. But I made her know that I wasn't happy with something, right? You mean, but the way I was acting, bro, I was insecure in my ability to lead.
Absolutely.
I was insecure, especially early on, man. I told you, bro, I had an issue because she made more money than me, right?
Yeah.
So her making more money than me, kind of like to me it emasculated me, right? It made me feel like I was less than a man because I wasn't making more money than her. And a lot of dudes have a real issue with that. And right because she make more money than him, he has a problem with that.
Right.
He may have more
Right.
influence. He has a problem with that. So I am a firm believer, bro, that
Yeah.
you don't have to impose your will on anyone to get them. If you have to impose your will, right, and pump and beat your chest to get those who love you to 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 align with what your instructions are, bro, you have a problem. Like for real, you have a
And
problem.
it's
Because my thing, I should be able to love you through it and correct you and direct you and coach you. And I should be, watch this, I should be coachable myself.
yeah.
I should be I should have the most humility out of all of us. I should have the most humility. Men should have the most humility in the home. They should be the first to apologize, first to lead, first to do it all. Because if we want to lead correctly, this is just my thought. Is that if I want to lead, I need to demonstrate what leadership look like. I need to demonstrate what leadership look like. Right? If I have a whole bunch of money in my bank account, I don't have to go on social media and show all of these dollar bills, right? Because I'm secure in what I have in my account. Is when I'm not secure, I got to come on social media and show you all this that I have. So it's the same way at the crib. If I'm insecure, I got to walk in the house and impose my will and make sure that everybody shut up, they align. I need to have this, I need to have that. Like, yo, I need to first be the leader. I need to be the thing that I want my family to be.
Yeah. And I love that, right? And I mean, even the word family. I mean, if you look on the backdrop here, you'll see there's an F in there, so that the family that F represents something. But here's what I'm also, I want to counter all that
Come
to
on.
say too, man. We're not socialized. There are systems that are put in place that make that really difficult. And so there is some insecurities that get wrapped up in this idea of leadership in the home. Excuse me, especially when we begin to unpack most men or some men, I won't say most, I'll say some men who I've worked with who don't even have a home, right? And so they are put in positions where they have to move into the home of a woman who has a home,
Ooh, ooh,
right? And
ooh,
so when they move into that home with the woman that already has a home,
ooh.
there's already a shift in leadership from the jump. So he may not even feel comfortable enough navigating leadership in that space. And he might even try to assert himself in that, but will be quickly reminded, especially when there's a heated conversation, that this is my place, right? So just even in that, once he's reminded that it's not his place, he's been already told what role he plays, what position he plays, from even the understanding that this ain't your home, and if you don't do what you need to do, you know what you can do, bro. You can get out and take the stuff that you came in here with, because you only had a few bags when you came in anyway. Right. And now the kids recognize that. Yeah. I mean, I work with boys and I ask them
But
how many of them.
hold on. You just can't
Oh,
slide past that because that's a whole nother monkey, bruh.
bruh,
That's a
that's real.
whole nother animal when you talk about a dude moving into a home of a woman, especially if she taking care of her business, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
Yes.
my question to you is, what did he do to to make her respond in such a way?
Oh, he could have just came in with that rah rah. He could have came in after a hard day's work, had an attitude about something, and they got into a little disagreement. And you know how disagreements go; they don't always have that ebbs and flow. I mean, they take lefts, turns, ups, down, hills, and valleys. And before you know, there could have been a heated conversation that led to, you know what, this ain't your stuff. This ain't your home.
They ain't say stuff.
And
They ain't say stuff. They ain't
I,
say.
you know, I'm keeping it PG,
Okay.
right? You, we know what can be said, and so when we begin to talk about or unpack this idea of men feeling like leaders in their home, I'm working with a host of brothers that have some history in the system that it's been very difficult for them to even find placement. But we don't. We also got to talk about how do we raise boys into men to be, I'm gonna say, servant leaders, right? Because I think that what I discovered in my home is that I just couldn't be a leader in my home with my children. I had to be a servant leader as well. And I think these are things that have to be taught. It's not normal oftentimes, and you have to model it. So if I grew up in a home where I didn't see a man leading, but I saw a woman leading, right, and there's nothing wrong. But if that's what I saw, then it might be a little challenging for me to get into a home and lead, especially if I was led by a mom who really spent a lot of time mothering. And sometimes mothers have this great ability to mother in such a way that it almost becomes, what's the word I'm looking for? Codependent.
Yep.
And so I have so many moms that, raise sons, and these boys can't do a lot of things because mama then swooped in and, baby, don't worry about it. I got you.
And
Right? Or we have the
man,
opposite version of that. So the
that's
opposite
real.
version of that, no, I don't got you, and you better figure it out. And so then he doesn't get that nurturing aspect, and then he starts to want to get that in the woman. And I mean, there's so much complex stuff that's happening that when he moves into the home or creates a home, it can be very difficult in that space. What's Jamal? What's he
Jamal
saying?
said you can still earn respect without always having a lot of material things. Absolutely, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely, I
Absolutely,
totally
absolutely,
agree with that.
absolutely. I
I totally
totally
agree with
agree
that.
with that
I
too.
agree with that.
And
I
Jamal,
agree with that.
I'll double down on that, right? Because what happens, bro, is that people will associate respect and authority based off what
With
they have.
absolutely.
So my question is, well, who's standing there when you don't have that? What happens when you file bankruptcy? What happens when you lose a job? Right? When you can't provide the way that you used to can provide. Like so if what you have, if you're demanding respect because you have all this money and all that type of stuff, it's like, yo, what do you really have? Because if it's gone, just like I was on the screen, like if you
Man, come on.
if you're gone, if it's gone, what do you don't laugh at me, Cole. If it's gone, what do you have? You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so that's a great point, bro. That's a
it is.
really great point. And my thing is this, man, is that a lot of men, their identity is anchored in what they possess.
But everything tells you that. Everything tells you that. From the commercials, everything tells a story of what you are supposed to become. So it's almost like you literally have to go inward and have that spiritual connection to separate yourself from the way that the world is telling you you are supposed to be. Every message I've seen tells me I need to, if I wear these type of shoes, this type of shoe is going to help me create this type of lifestyle. I
Yep.
can live this lifestyle if I drive this kind of car.
Yep.
But the part of that commercial they don't tell you is all the stuff that comes with driving an expensive vehicle
Yep.
and all of the things that come with that, right? So it's almost this thing that the world almost forces us to have to see outside ourselves and create that, I am nothing if I don't have this amount of money in my bank account or
Yep.
in my pocket, because that's it. So I think that's the challenge we have when we're talking about child support or we're talking about all these other things. If a
Yep.
man does not feel like he has the
Man, you
money,
preaching. You
then
preaching.
guess what? I won't be present because everyone has told me that my presence is wrapped up in what's in my account. And I also start to believe that. And then if I don't get the job or I lost the job, then guess what I do? I get depressed, right?
Yep.
Because that I don't have the money.
Yep.
So now I'm angry,
Yep.
so it all wraps back into that this idea of we have to move inwardly and outward and versus outwardly and recognize that no, man, your presence is who you are
Yep.
is the
Yep.
gift,
Yep.
not what you bring and not
Yep.
what you have in your pocket. But
Man,
that's a
that's
hard
so
sell.
critical. That's so
That's a hard
critical.
sell, Sean. We know that. That's a hard sell.
It's that's critical, man. And let me say this, bro. Jody said the world entices you to look and portray outward instead of looking inward to your true value. And that's real,
Absolutely.
Jody. That's
Absolutely, Jody.
real, right? So this is
That's
my
real.
thing. Let me. I don't know how many ladies is on here, but this is my thing, bro. Ladies, we have to be careful too how we. And I'm not going to use the word provoke, but we have to be careful on how we engage and interact with some of these men that may be fragile.
Wait, 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 wait. Wait, Sean. Did you just connect the word man with the word fragile?
I sure did.
Did you put them two together?
I sure did. I sure did. And uh and
That's
I have
beautiful,
every
man.
listen, I
That's
have
beautiful.
every right. I have every
That's
right.
beautiful.
I think I'm an authority in this area where
That's
I
beautiful.
do see men
Yes,
that are absolutely fragile, right?
yes,
I mean,
yes.
I'm not saying broken, but fragile at the place to where anything takes place where see now what happens with their brokenness sometimes could come out with violence,
Absolutely.
right? So if I'm fragile and then now you push me, you know what I mean, and I go over the edge, now he's coming out swinging. Now he's coming out, being extremely aggressive. So my thing is that we have to be careful when we are interacting with fragile men or fragile individuals that are going through a season in a process. Listen, man, I remember, bro. You know what I mean? And that's why my wife is so dope, bro, because I was at a time, and listen, man, we didn't get to 20 years because everything was perfect.
Right.
We
Right.
went through everything that mostly every other couple went through. The difference is that we decided to love each other through it. And we
Okay.
chose to forgive each other through it. Right?
Okay.
That's the thing. But I remember, bro, when I was at my lowest, when I had to file bankruptcy because I wasn't managing finances well and put us in a very difficult place, bro, I was used to spending a lot of money buying this, buying that, all types of stuff. And when I no longer could do that, bro, my identity, man,
Disappear.
I didn't know who I was, man. I was jacked up. But in the midst of that, man, she could have definitely responded by saying, "See, I told you, you shouldn't have did it. You should have listened to me. You
Yes.
should have listened to me." But through that dark time, bro, never once did she say that. I'm not saying she didn't think it. I'm not even saying she didn't talk to her mama or her girlfriends and said those very things. But it never came back to me to destroy me. She always spoke to the king on the inside of me and made me think that I could rule the world. And when I got like pink in the brain and got way out there, she was just like, yeah, you can do that, but there need to be processes and systems in place for you to execute. And guess what? I knew exactly what she was talking about because the last time I tried to save the world and try to do all of that, I didn't include her. I didn't think about the processes and systems, and it failed. So she didn't say, remember the last time you did that? Her response is like, yo, maybe we should think about it and go through these processes. But I knew what she meant. It was the word choice that she used that still empowered me, still inspired me to take action. And
So
so
there we
my
go.
thing to women is that you have to be careful. Um, you can make a man, become a brain surgeon just by the power of your words, or you could cause a man to be on the side of the road.
And so I want to, Sean, everything you just said is exactly what I hope our listeners are going to take with them. And if they're using it, great. If they haven't, try it. And if they're scared to, I want to convince them to push past that fear and actually do it. Because I think what you're also saying is, which is important, because that's universal. Like I think that your our words have so much power, and they have the ability to cause true harm, and become ultimately, if we're not careful, the echo and voice inside someone else's head who hears that voice, and then that voice ultimately becomes their own. And so I hear you say that, and the first thing that comes to my mind is that, my gosh, if parents understood the power of their voice and the power of their words and the power of their tone toward their children, they could make their sons and daughters brain surgeons just by their words, or they can completely shift that narrative, and whatever fear or nightmare they have that their child could become, part of that fear and nightmare can be tapped back into the things that they have invested in them through
Absolutely.
words. So
Absolutely.
that's so, man, that's so powerful, man, that it really boils down to this universal idea and concept about treating people with a level of humanity.
Absolutely,
I
bro.
mean,
Absolutely.
it's that's important, and
It
but
is,
it comes to
man.
work.
It is, bro. It is, man. And this is the thing, man. If you want to, I don't know how we got here, but I guess it's
Yeah,
all
Jody.
included. You mean, but my thing, man. If you want longevity when it comes to relationships, I'm not even talk about marriage, but like through
Yeah.
just
Relationship.
relationships. My thing is this, man. Number one, make sure your camera works, right? So, but but what you need, no, honestly, man, is that you need to
Yeah,
be careful of not having these unrealistic or falsified expectations
yeah,
that is unknown to the other person, right?
yeah,
You have in these expectations, and people talking about communication, and people get bored like, oh my god, I hear it all the time. I'm telling you, communication is key. Some of
yeah,
our challenges that my wife and I have now, where it used to take weeks for us to recover from, now is like, that is silly. We just communicate. It's communicate. It's not about who's right, it's about what's right. Because if we just remove away
come on.
that who's right and focus on what's right, it will eliminate a whole lot of stuff because we focus on who's right.
Yeah,
Well, because it didn't come from me, even though you know your partner was correct, but because it wasn't your idea, you have to buck the system. So I'm saying, if you want something to be long lasting, you have to know it's not about who's right, it's about what's right. It's about not having these unrealistic expectations or realist or these expectations that the other party doesn't know anything about that's just in your head. And one of the last things I'll say is this: where listen, man, I'm a free somebody with this right here. I'm gonna free you. I'm gonna free you. If you are asking your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, if you are asking them, listen, you don't text me enough, you're not flirtatious enough, or you don't hold my hand, or you don't buy me roses, or you don't take me on trips enough, this is what I want. The moment that person starts doing it, nah, I'm coming back. The moment the person starts doing it, you cannot say you're only doing that because I said so.
wow.
Let me help you out. That is why they're doing it, because you
Wow.
asked them,
Come on, Sean.
because they loved you.
Take
It's
us
not
home,
it's
please.
it's it's not normal to them. It's not normal to them. So but because they love you, they are saying, you know what, this is uncomfortable, but I send you roses because you asked, but you can't penalize them for sending you roses after you asked them to send you roses. So it has to become a way of life over a period of time. So it may not be genuine at first, but over time it would become that. At one point, had a hard time of being affectionate. Why? Because I didn't see the affection part of it between my father and my mother. So when my wife wanted that, bro, it was abnormal. I thought if she touched me, she wanted to have sex. She's like, no, I just want to sit down and just be affectionate, bro. I'm like, oh. So I had to learn how to do that. So now, guess what? Guess what your boy like now?
What you like?
I like affection. I like affection. Whereas before, I didn't like it. I'm like, that's nasty.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. But my thing is, that was the biggest thing. Is like, yo, all right, yep. This is not normal and comfortable for me, but I'm gonna do it because I love you, even though I'm uncomfortable. But let me tell you, I should not penalize her, or she should not penalize me because I'm doing the very thing that she asked me to do. And we had to learn that. We grew through that process because that was one of the things like, oh, you don't mean it. You're only doing it. You're right. I'm only doing it because you asked me. I'm absolutely only
yeah.
doing it because you asked me. And eventually it become a way of life.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, Shon, this leads me to, we got Valentine's Day coming up.
Let's go.
Right?
Let's go.
So part of me wants to
let this be.
that.
You know what? Let this be. We had 35 minutes. So let this be.
Legit.
Let's be legit or not legit.
This
Let's
is
go.
Legit or not legit. That's where I was going with it. So
Let's go.
Because there's people get riled up about Valentine's Day, man. Is it legit or not legit? Just because it's Valentine's Day, that you should receive all of these tokens of appreciation and all the chocolates and the roses and the candles and the hot tub and the leading to the hot tub, the body rub down, and and I think Valentine's Day is on what, a Monday?
Oh, I know where you go, so I guess I already know what your stance is, with your tone of voice.
Is it legit or not legit to celebrate in this big way for the person that you love?
Okay,
what do you think?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I say absolutely legit if that is what your partner want and need.
Wow.
Because it's not about you. Because it's not important to you doesn't mean it's not important to her or to him.
Wow.
Because it's not about me. And that's just my stance, right? And so listen, there's some things I just like, it's not big, but to my wife, it was big. Like birthdays wasn't big to me and my family. It was just like, oh, happy birthday. To them is big. So to her, it had to become big to me. Right? Because it's important to her. So if these things is important, then it has to be, I may not feel about it the same way she feel about it. But when I die to myself, and I'm not trying to be religious and I'm not trying to be perfect, I'm just telling you my stance. That, it's just not about me. It's about the bigger picture, right? If that is going to, because if I'm like, I want to serve you, I want to make you happy. If that is going to make her happy, I'm all for it. But this goes back to what I stated before, though, Cole, is that she can't penalize me if I don't have the same excitement as her surrounding the holiday.
That's beautiful.
Don't penalize me. Don't penalize me. But what I am going to do, I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to participate. And I'm going to bring everything that I have. But internally, I may not have the same excitement or exuberance that you have about it. So to me, I say it's legit.
So don't be mad. Just make sure you hold grace and understanding and patience for that. It's about treating her like the queen you saw in her when first dating. So yeah, that's good.
Yep.
That's good. That's good.
Yep. Oh, come on, Jamal. Look at you, Jamal. Look at you, Jamal. Jamal, you making it rough now. He talking about yes, Jody, it should be done all year around. Really? Yeah. Jamal, you can check off now. You can. Yeah. I mean, you trying to make it. See, you know what? I bet you that brother love language is like serving and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
You know what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
I think, he trying to make it difficult for us.
Yeah, that's
Jamal,
good.
Back
that's
up.
Good.
Jamal,
come on, Jamal. No.
Yo, I love it. See, just like, listen, my camera went out again. You know what I mean? We at the
man.
end of the show, man. We appreciate you guys
We do. We
rocking
do.
out with us, man. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. So,
Yeah.
listen, man, we will see you guys here again next week. I'll make sure my computer is right. Tonight it was my issues. Look at Cole came
And
out
I was
blazing.
good.
And
You
he
know what I'm
good. He ain't even
saying?
chopping. Got his beard all blown out.
Yeah, I picked that boy out and everything. They was, you know how I do.
I appreciate it, man. Let's continue to get this work, man. Appreciate you, man. Listen, man, we love you guys, man. Until next time.
Have a good night.